static from your psychic space. Combing through dense layers of habitual thought patterns. Some of them are really deep, like inherited, really well practiced through the family line, lineages. What's come up so far is some fear, like some of this static has been maintained to enunciate connection and loyalty, like devotion to the family, and we don't have to do that anymore. There are so many ways, including this, of caring immensely, deeply, clearing the static, healing in every direction of time and space, liberating entire lineages. Tending to the shadowy places that we've held on to and perpetuated. Returning all this energy to source, letting the earth recycle any density. Probably already feeling quite a lot lighter. Ground that here and now. And any space created in the mind psyche with unplugging those cords and teasing out that static and dissolving some clouds of attachment. We are receiving that spaciousness, the openness now with delight and reverence, and calling on Reiki, on God Source energy to tend to those places, those spaces, with love, with unconditional approval, total acceptance. For everywhere your people have been, for everywhere you've been, and all that you've collected, and whatever you've stored up to this point, totally approved, and so much released to enable you further into this moment here and now as your authentic self, embracing this journey of reclaiming liberation and letting go of so much as you can. I am Kelsey, an energy master of Hallelujah Anyways, antidote aesthetic. Honoring our capacities, is my intention to stroke and provoke community, people, individuals, all ages and backgrounds, to feel the energy master alive inside themselves, the deep awareness, the deep calm, the intense openness, anchored, stabilized. Duality always at play around us on this human plane. You can really feel like pushing and pulling on our energy. And a lot of those thought patterns and static that we were releasing here had a lot to do with the narratives of being caught up in the push-pull. Which really keeps us distracted. Feeling a lot of resonance with that statement around the heart space, like relief, like recognition. Loving that energy, and at the same time, letting it too move all the way through, not having to hold on to it. Total confidence and trust that the enthusiasm of the heart flame present here and now is for keeps. And we are reminded of its strength when we have experiences of recognition, relatedness, and we feel the relief, like we might get to relax, and we do. And the natural illumination of the heart can be felt in its fullness here and now, as the stress that often surrounds it attempts at protection, working on the defense, feeling pushed and pulled in duality, all those stories. Feels like it's getting gobbled up by the twinkling, burning presence of stars and suns. Swirled up into all the burning gas balls that illuminate our night sky, our daytime, our upper realms. The heart's so relieved in this mutual reverence. Sorry about that. And there will be shocks, I suppose. And they'll affect us differently at different moments. I had the intention, or I heard the intention, coming in today to work on deep listening. To stroke and provoke deep listening. For the people of our community, as that is the portal to getting out of places where you don't want to be. And the shock of a dog bark, or of someone yelling at you, or of something seemingly falling apart, or a physical accident, or any of these things, letting that, if any shock has come up, letting it come up, as there are no, meaningless coincidences. Letting the inflammation and the rigidity of shock be seen now and be heard, as we've cleared a lot of static here today and dropped into our heart centers. See if whatever came up in that pierce, sharp moment of surprise, what does it have to say? I'm hearing the words allow, embrace. Which can be really tough to do when we don't feel supported. And that's a major part of why I'm showing up here, is to offer back what I've received on this platform, which is a lot of support and presence, assistance, especially when I was not feeling it around me in the 3D environment. Exiting situations and habits that no longer served me and that lingered for perhaps way too long, required this releasing of static and a reclaiming of the centers that are stabilized with our presence. They're always present there for us to stabilize with, and it's bringing our attention there. Center of the psyche, center of the heart, center of the womb, the hara, the dark space of the lower abdomen, point of creation. It takes a settled, spacious silence to anchor into those places. It's a surrender as opposed to a try. But it usually, for us traumatized humans, requires applied effort in saying yes to releasing the static, to dissolving the distress stored in the body and becoming distress tolerant, not to enable, but to actually no longer enable abuse in your environments, to disentangle from the unconscious, subconscious, or even conscious patterns that participate in self-abuse or interpersonal abuse or environmental abuse. Releasing attachment really enables that. And then here we are, truly available, still in all of our caring, and actually in a deeper availability for devotion and new levels of expression. What I'm hearing is the problem is, and I feel that's coming from someone or some parts of us that are aware as we do this work, we resonate differently, we vibrate differently, and people feel that. And so the expressions of acceptance we might have experienced, even if they weren't very fulfilling, it is what we've known. And there's a comfort and a belonging in that, and that will shift. And it is my every intention to will those shifts in myself, to say yes, and to trust myself to steady in any discomfort, any distress that does arise, to stabilize, to continue the release, the relief, and the dissolution of the ties that bind me and us to patterns, ways of thinking and being that block the centeredness, even if they have been ways of belonging and being part of something, and choosing to go deeper, and choosing to trust what no longer aligns, choosing to trust in the immense care and attention that I have accessible to me as I do this work, and that I do send out that love to every person, every place that I've ever been in touch with. Feeling the power. feeling these webs. I'm just listening. Yeah. Can't feel sticky and tangled and tormented. To really relieve yourself into the trust. And yes, there may be clingers that either don't want you to evolve or that want to come along but want you to do all the work. Generally, people are scared, and most everything that we've released here has been fear, has come from fear-based thinking and living and operating and relating. And I can only understand, imagine, assume that you're here because you are a change makers. The words that are coming through. And so wanting to contribute any clearing for you that, I'm going to light some Palo Santo, that supports you to feel trust in yourself, to get underneath any voices, any clinging or any clingers. To listen, to hear what you hear when you are able to touch into the center space inside yourself, be it psyche, heart, or hara. Again, remembering that those places speak in silence, spacious, surrender, which doesn't mean that everything around has to stop for us to be able to get there. It's that we release the static that's in between where our awareness often hovers, which is more in the outer world. Releasing the static that exists between that place and the center place so that we can take a deep breath and relax into center, no matter what is going on in the environment, no matter who is begging us subtly or overtly to stay the same, to continue the old ways, to respond to expectation or obligation of family or any communal environment. We're clearing here to be able to listen to that deep place within ourselves, to be authentic and express from there, even at the cost, is what I'm hearing. And often it only costs us what we don't like, and what we do like ends up being there, perhaps in different forms or different flavors, but we are provided for, and we provide for ourselves in such immaculate, immense ways when we reclaim and nurture our center points with our presence in a regular way. And so I'm putting out this work with that intention. And I want to also invite you to our Patreon community, where we have a few different levels of membership, and one is longer sessions like this, and where you can make requests, and also where some of the sessions are live. So you can hop on and we can really, really be together. At the same time, I'm appreciating your presence so much here, and I do take the time to tap in and really feel into the energy of those who are already active participants on this channel and those who will arrive. And I love this capacity that I access through my relationship with my center points that really take us into the convergence of time and space, where we have access to infinity and the quantum realm. And so thank you, thank you, thank you to all those catching this kind of immediately, or anyone connecting seemingly later on. I really, really appreciate you. Here is, I really appreciate myself for taking years to get underneath the static, the distress, the addiction to stress, and the obsession with elements of life that are devoted to stress. I'm really, really, really honored to show up here and now, even still in my evolution, but also having come so far in honoring myself and wishing this relief and this relatedness through these portals within that occurs in the deep listening that happens so naturally, and that happens in more and more nourishing, blissful, like serviceful ways, in ways that like serve your work, your well-being, your relationships, that truly assist, direct you. Navigation. These are your navigation portals. These are our navigation portals. And that silent, spacious surrender is available for you here and now. Plucking the doubtful voices that are completely legitimate and no longer so needed. Thank you for your efforts to protect us. I'm going to leave it for today on this sense of a really strong heartbeat I feel in my hands, and it's throbbing gratitude. And I'm so glad that's what we're sharing here and now. That is a very, very powerful energy. seal this with the infinity sign 3 times and pressing that into you now. Sending you on your way, wishing you an incredible day. A sense of being anchored in yourself, trusting yourself. Center places inside you that are your guides. Zipping us up. May you feel secure even in these shifts. May you feel supported. Know that you have a friend in